Alright, so in the previous video, I told you that we'll be making a calculator. But before we go on, I have to touch up on a few things actually. We can't. It's not that we can only add things in C++ essentially. What we can also do is we can say y minus x. All right, and then if you run this, we'll get a we'll basically subtract it as you would expect. And one more thing would be multiplication. Now normally what would you would write in normal math is just type x, but that will mess everything up. So instead you can just say y star x, and then let me close this and let me save that and build and run. So there, 22.08. And if you were wondering how I got this asterisk, well, it's shift and 8, unless again you have some weird keyboard. In that case, you'll have to find out yourself. But yeah, and then we have divide also, in which case we just use like the divide thing, which is basically the / that you use on any website, I would say. And you do build and run, and it shows a divided value basically. And one more thing that I would want to touch up on real quick is there's something called string. All right, so basically what string is it's a variable type, which allows you, oh, 1 minute actually, just before we get on to string, you can do these things that we just did, like divide and all that, in C without setting variables also. For example, right now we just set variables and then did it, right? But instead of using variables, you can, if you want, do it without variables. For example, you can do 6.9 divided by 3.2. Let me save that, close out of this, and build and run. So that works also. I just wanted to show that you can use inline options also. And yeah, let's get back now on string. Basically, string allows you to store text-based variables, which won't be used for calculation, but they'll be used for other things. Let me give you an example. So I can say string name equals let's just say Batman. All right, hopefully no one comes for the trademark of that name to my home, banging with their whatever and suing me to court, but we will go on anyways. So now what I can say over here is, hello, my name is, and then I'll just do this and leave a space over there, and then I'll say that and name. All right, so if I save this and build and run, in case you were wondering, build and run is this little thing with the gear and the play button. So if I do that, it says, hello, my name is Batman. And about that, let's do this also. We'll do string name, and then let me introduce you to something that is called cin. Now basically, cin is the opposite of cout. So even the directional indicators that I said before are on the opposite side. Before you were using these, but now you use the other ones, so we use these, right? And then we say name. So 1 minute. Now if I save this and quickly build and run, this won't really do anything. It'll just ask me for my name. It won't even ask me for anything. If I type anything and press enter, the program just ends. So what we'll be doing over here, let's make this a little bit more user-friendly. We can say cout, and then we can say, what is your name? All right, and then we'll end the line, or rather I'll just use endl. I don't know why I prefer this, but I just do. And once the user says that, let me build and run this. So right now it asks me, what is your name? I will say my name is Batman, and it just goes there. Now what I can do is say cout, and we can say hello there, hello there. and then we say the name. So it is, you have to leave the space here, by the way. Hello there, and then we say name, and then do more, and we can say, we can put a comma in and say nice to meet you, and we do that. All right, so basically what this is telling is we first see out, first define the variable as name, and then we say see out what is your name, right, and then end the line. So in the next line the user enters the name, that's why the see in is, and then we say see out hello there, and then we say the name which we got from here, and then we say nice to meet you after putting a comma. So if we build and run this, it'll say what's your name. I'll say my name is Peter Parker. Yeah, I'll just say Peter, and then it says hello there Peter, nice to meet you, thank you, the program that I just made. All right, so that's that. And just before I leave you after from this tutorial, let me introduce you to something called comments. Okay, these are not the comments that you use on Facebook. Please get off that social networking site already. All right, now that we have that out, basically comments are things that you keep to make the program easily readable for people you might be sharing your code with, or for yourself basically. And comments go with 2 forward slashes, and if I do anything over here, no matter what I write, the program won't be affected at all. All right, so if I say I am not a human, the program will not know that I'm not a human. It will just be the same program basically. So I can just enter whatever I want. But and let's enter a couple more strings. All right, first I mean a couple more comments. We'll say first this is the use basically. Let's say you are going to give this code to someone else for your school project or something. You say, so you would want to put in comments so that your whoever is evaluating your code will know what you are, will have a better idea of what you're doing basically. Define variable for input later. So once the teacher or whoever it is reads this, he or she will know that we are defining this so that we can use it later. All right, I don't know if you can see this, but I just wrote it, and then we say ask um, user for their name, right? And then we can go and say um, allow user to input name, and then we say welcome the user. Okay, so now this is a pretty pathetic way to use comments, but one more way to do that is you do forward slash and then a star. All right, and then you do star and forward slash again. So basically anything in between